CDC, you must no longer listen to the CDC until we reform the CDC with intelligent people who follow science. But for right now, the CDC is a clear and present danger to the health of the American people.
If you go looking on the CDC website for information on vaccines and autism, you're going to see something that experts say is dangerous. In an update made Wednesday, the website still says that vaccines do not cause autism, but right above it, there is, I guess, a disclaimer that that claim is not evidence-based. Joining us, Dr. Dimitri Dasalakis, an infectious disease doctor who resigned from the CDC in August. He was the director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. Wow. What do you make of this?
Well, it's why I resigned. So I think that what we're seeing is CDC weaponized, CDC being a wolf in sheep's clothing that is now promoting conspiratorial theories that have been debunked now for decades, and making it CDC's, in effect, party line. So I'm seeing what a chaos agent, which is RFK Jr., can do to the health of kids, and that is going to be extremely bad.
A lot of that is just the semantics of it. It's not evidence-based. What are they trying to say, that the link between vaccines and autism is not evidence-based?
Yeah, they're just trying to create confusion. So, I think what we know is that vaccines do not cause autism. So that is what everyone in America should know. Vaccines do not cause autism.
That is the evidence we have, and that's what it says.
That is the evidence we have, and that is what it says. So the rest of it is just trying to create chaos and confusion, and frankly, to speak things that the secretary has wanted to do for 20, 30 years into being without having to even define proof. There's nothing in that document that's new. They are quoting parts of studies, cherry picking parts, miscategorizing them and distorting them to create confusion so people don't know what to do. So take his advice and don't listen to him. He says, do not listen to his medical advice. I agree with that. Talk to your pediatrician.
If you are a parent and you're worried about this, and you look at the CDC and you look at social media and you understand that the evidence shows you that the vaccines don't cause autism, that's what your logical brain says. There's an emotional aspect as well, and you're worried. How do you get past that? How do you push past that worry, that emotional response?
And I think that parents have a very important relationship with their kids and their pediatrician. I think that it's only natural to be worried, especially when you see so much confusion being sowed. So I think that, the bottom line is trust your pediatrician, trust the experts, ask them the question, what do you think about vaccines and autism? Today, the American Academy of Pediatricians released a statement that says exactly what I just said. The vaccines do not cause autism. And so I think that it is natural to have an emotional reaction because everybody wants the best for our kids. The way to figure out what's the best for your kids is to go to a trusted source. And I'm sad to say today that I don't consider CDC a trusted source on this topic anymore.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Can you trust the CDC?
I think that the answer is, given the behavior that you're seeing and, CDC becoming co-opted by people who are using it to communicate inaccuracies, my answer is no. At this stage, you cannot trust that information and you should not trust that information. Again, your pediatrician, the real experts are the ones to go to rather than people who decide to cherry pick data and create documents that are scientifically at best dubious, if not damaging, to try to convince people of inaccuracies, truly achieve a different goal, which is to destabilize the vaccines and to ultimately profit off of what could potentially be litigation. I think that this is actually victimizing parents of autistic children and giving them information that is incorrect. So don't believe this information. Don't believe CDC. Talk to your pediatrician.
Absolutely so. Absolutely so. Look, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, and all their ilk, their claim was they wanted to destroy the administrative state. There's a reason for an administrative state, so that we can do certain things collectively that we cannot do alone. They have destroyed many of the government structures. The judiciary, to some extent, is still holding. But the fact that we can no longer trust the NIH, we can no longer trust the CDC, we can no longer trust the employment reports that are coming out, we can no longer trust the inflation reports that are coming out. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding that we have to do because these people have decided to corrupt government to such an extent that nothing that comes out of the Trump administration can be trusted. And to rebuild that after we carve all these people out, when we get sanity, whether Democratic and Republican sanity as they come back. Because I tell you, when we rebuild, I want to be rebuilt with Democrats and Republicans, good Republicans. When I say good Republicans, I mean fact-based Republicans, and there are those. I want there to be a plethora of valid information coming from all over. I want to see an America that is moving forward, not with one ideology, but with smart thinking, with smart-based ideology. We have a government that cannot be trusted, must not be trusted, and we have to make sure that in 2026, we elect a government of and by the people, a progressive government, one moving us forward, one that is going to do what is necessary, and it starts with you. We cannot buy in to the failure these guys have created. It's going to take us a decade to clean up the mess that these guys have thrown up upon us. But you know what? You got to start somewhere. And even as it takes 10 years or so to recover, remember, every year it will get better. But we must get these animals out of this. I shouldn't say this, immorals out of office, and we must rebuild.
All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.